So we are the United Nations Specialized Agency on Weather, Climate and Water, and we are also the founding father of IPCC, which is providing scientific reports on the status of climate and climate science. And we have been showing that climate change will affect human lives in various ways. It will affect the global economy, but it will affect human beings growingly. About half of the planet has seen an increase of flooding events, and about 1/3 of the planet has seen an increase of drought events. And sea level rise is a long-term threat for many island states, but also for many big cities around the world. And since we have this interconnection of the economies worldwide, there's not going to be any winners, because if a large fraction of the world will suffer economically, or even we will have more migration, then that's going to affect also the rest of the world. So there won't be any winners in this game. Typically we have 1,000 world-leading scientists who are 1,000 who are compiling the reports, and then there's typically 2,500 scientists who are reviewing it first, and thereafter it's after the scientific review where we get typically 100,000 comments from the reviewers. The final report is compiled, and then it's sent to the governments. So in North America, there has been already increase in the amount of heat waves, especially the western part of North America has been facing severe drought during recently, and also severe wildfires in California and in western Canada, and also this last summer, for example, we had record-breaking wildfires in eastern part of Canada. We have never seen such wildfires. The fact that all mountain glaciers are melting, that there's going to be less and less water in the main rivers, which have their origin from Rocky Mountains, and that's already happening. This water. One of my personal main concerns is how to feed the growing global population in these changed climatic conditions, where potentially we will have difficulties in provision of food productions. For this southern part of Europe has become drier and hotter, and gradually these Mediterranean regions are getting warmer and drier, which means that these desert areas that we have had so far in North Africa, they are moving northwards. The same is true for the Himalayan glaciers, where we expect to see melting, and many of the main rivers in both India, China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, they have their origins from Himalayas, and once this glacier is melting, we are getting less and less water to the key rivers, and that's going to lead to water shortages for human beings, for agriculture, and also for industries. So these are not only matters of comfort, but they are also matters of economy, and it should be also clearly understood that, for example, these fossil business-related assets may lose their value because of this transition. And if you read the most recent report of International Energy Agency, for example, they have been surprised how quickly this energy conversion out of fossil fuels towards renewables, hydropower, nuclear is going to happen, and that means that these fossil assets are risky business even in the near future. So if you look at the amount of people who are attending these COP meetings, like here in Dubai, we are almost 100,000 people. This is showing that this kind of movement is growing, and there's growing amount of sectors and players in countries who are interested in being part of the solution. And then we have this population growth challenge, that it's difficult for the young people to get employment and education and so forth, and they are seeking for better life outside of their home countries. And this has already had an impact on the Western democracies. Of course, in this game we have winners and losers, and it's difficult for those players whose business is related to fossil fossil energy and sources of fossil fuels, finally the winner is going to be the whole planet and whole mankind.